Welcome to Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals from Staples Center in L.A. The adjustments have been made. Time to play ball. Kobe Bryant would not let the Lakers lose Game 1. The best closer in the game had 18 in the fourth, helping his team capitalize at crunch time. Carmelo Anthony was superb in giving the Nuggets a chance to open the series with a road win. In the game that featured two of the NBA's most dynamic offensive players, putting on a show while battling each other. But in the end, the Lakers stole Game 1. Now the Nuggets must bounce back from a gut-wrenching defeat. Game 2 next.
One in the left corner against Robinson.
One of the most remarkable comebacks.
Fires a off-balance three. Bang! It's good!
Can you believe it?
Oh, my God.
Looking for the steal.
Magic's got it. Lakers win it, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a three for the game. Stockton hits the three. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's over. They've won the West. Unbelievable.
Playoff series. You're in a good place with it. The big thing right now is just go out and keep focused, keep confident, and play 48 minutes of basketball, and good things will happen.
A beautiful evening in Los Angeles, and the home of the Lakers will be packed once again. What a game they were treated to on Tuesday night for both the East and the West. The conference finals starting off with a bang. Neither game decided until the final buzzer as Orlando and LA jumping out to 1-0 leads. Tonight's starting lineups as we get things underway, presented by the United States Postal Service. Let's go to the great Lakers public address announcer, Lawrence Tanner.
And now let's meet the starting lineup. First for the visiting Denver Nuggets. At 1-4, number 15, 6'8", 6-year out of Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony. The other forward is number 4, 6'9", 9th season from Cincinnati, Kenyon Martin. Starting at center, number 31, 6'11", 7th campaign out of Brazil, Nene. At one guard, number 30, 6'6", 6th year from Duke, Dante Jones. And the other guard is number 7, 6'3", 12th season from Colorado, Chauncey Billups. The head coach of the Nuggets, George Karl. To greet the home team, celebrating their 49th year in Southern California, 61st year in the NBA, the franchise with 14 NBA titles and the most wins in NBA history, your Los Angeles Lakers. At 1-4, number 3, 6'8", and 5th campaign from UCLA, Trevor Ariza. The other forward is number 16, 7 feet, 8th season out of Spain, Pau Gasol. Starting at center, number 17, 7 foot, 4th year from St. Joseph's High School, Andrew Bynum. At one guard, number 2, 6'1", 13th season out of Arkansas Little Rock, Derek Fisher. And the other guard is number 24, 6'6", 13th campaign from Laura Marion High School, Kobe Bryant. The head coach in his 18th season, Hall of Famer Phil Jackson.
The crowd is fired up, and so are we, as the Lakers and Nuggets get set. And we welcome you to Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals here from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Good evening, everyone, along with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Mike Green on hand. Doris Burke will join us shortly. Lakers say they were outplayed in Game 1. At least that's according to Phil Jackson, and some say they stole the victory. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I don't think you steal playoff wins. I think you take them. And Kobe Bryant took over in the fourth quarter of Game 1, 18 fourth-quarter points. But he had help. The bigs of L.A. pounded the offensive board. 17 second shots. Pau Gasol had 6 of them. And then Bryant's supporting cast nailed 11 three-point shots. It adds up to a great victory for L.A.
Meanwhile, for the Denver Nuggets, they played a pretty good basketball game. Those are the tough ones to sleep or not sleep on after you lose. Any carryover effect, Mark, and what adjustments do they make?
Well, a lot of teams are going to say all the right things, but this is a team that's extremely confident. They believe in one another, or they're convincing and selling that. The bottom line is they made mistakes in Game 1, cost them the ball game. But I would say the biggest mistake was keeping the ball out of the hands of Carmelo Anthony. Spectacular plays down the stretch, was hot all night long. You got to trust that he's going to make the right plays. Is Melo in Game 2.
Carmelo Anthony, just a sensational performance. Kobe Bryant, just a little bit better as the Lakers took Game 1 and set to come right back. Lakers very strong at home during the course of the regular season. 36-5, second best home record in the NBA. They're 7-1 in the playoffs. The only loss at home in the playoffs to Houston. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets trying to win on the road. They've had some good road wins during the postseason. 2-3 overall on the road. So we're set to begin for Game 2 before the series shifts to Denver for Games 3 and 4. Game 3 will be Saturday night. No big chalk toss from Kobe Bryant. They leave that for the guy in Cleveland.
That guy in Cleveland had a heck of a game.
Yeah, he did, but in a loss last night. Meanwhile, for Denver, they've now lost 3 playoff games, all 3 playoff losses by 2 points. So even though they're down in the series and down in a postseason series for the first time this year, the Denver Nuggets are continuing to play good basketball. Let's take a look at the officiating crew. And as expected, very experienced staff. Steve Jabby, the crew chief, the longtime veteran Dick Bavetta, and Mark Davis, one of the younger officials, getting a big assignment tonight here in a conference final. Andrew Bynum out to start at center. Bynum and Pau Gasol, much talked about the last couple of days. Yes, they did get a lot of offensive rebounds. But the other side of it, that Phil Jackson feels that they were out-muscled down low and gave up too many easy buckets inside. Part of all the sublots that go on from games 1 to 2.
Well, obviously the Lakers defensively were understandably disappointed, particularly in their first half defense, where the bigs of Denver just rolled to the rim unimpeded and got dunks.
The Lakers win the tip. Actually, winning a jump ball was crucial down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Lamar Odom winning a big tip. We've seen that in the postseason the last couple of years. And Bynum looking to be aggressive early. Phil Jackson keeps telling him, play big, play tall. You have the height advantage. Bynum spins, and a 3-second violation called against Pau Gasol.
And that's a good call because so many officials overlook the weak side when the guy has the ball in the post and allow the opposite big just to sort of root a guy underneath the rim. And that's a big factor for Kenyon Martin to be able to stop Gasol's second shot, is to be able to keep him away from the basket.
Derek Fisher starts on Chauncey Billups in Game 1. Kobe Bryant started on him. Now Bryant is on Billups on a switch, and it's Trevor Ariza on Carmelo Anthony. Ariza called for a foul. That's his first. Interesting game for Ariza, Mark Jackson. He made the steal of the game. That was critical in the final minute, but he also had to watch Carmelo Anthony light him up.
Now, talking to him before the game, the guy has matured from the moment he stepped into this league. Frustrated early on, gave credit to Carmelo Anthony, said I was getting torched, but stuck with it and made the crucial plays defensively to put his team up 1-0.
Kenyon Martin misfires. You have to have kind of like a defensive back mentality when you guard the premier players in the NBA. Shane Battier talked about that last series. Sometimes you give up 40 and feel you played well. As Kenyon Martin called for the foul, they're calling it tight early. And again, sometimes little plays like this make all the difference. And Ariza making the steal. He gave credit to Kobe Bryant, saying it was Bryant's ball denial on Carmelo Anthony that forced the pass to Billups.
And not only that, he also gave credit to Lamar Odom, putting pressure on Anthony Carter, throwing the ball inbound. So it was a total team effort last possession for the Lakers.
If we're going to give credit, can I give a little blame? Anthony Carter on that play, as Fisher hoists up a desperation three, can't throw it over Odom. He's got to bounce past it. And then Chauncey Billups has to come to the ball or go into the backcourt to give Carter a better angle.
Billups knocks down that shot. Billups did have 18 points in game one, but shot just 5 of 13. And Phil Jackson saying before the series, in some ways, getting the ball out of Billups' hands is their #1 priority on defense. Ariza on the drive. Nice feed to Bynum.
And that's showing tremendous patience on Trevor Ariza offensively. They left him open for the jump shot, didn't fall in love. You want to start the game inside out, dribble penetration, getting Bynum an easy look.
Bynum in game one had just 6 points. Lob pass inside. Nene nearly stripped, gets it back, goes across and puts it in. Nene and Kenyon Martin actually outscored Bynum and Pau Gasol in game one.
And I don't think Phil Jackson and the Lakers mind that. It was the way in which those guys scored, especially in the first half. They got to the rim.
Carmelo Anthony, at least to start the game, is going to be on Trevor Ariza, but George Karl telling us yesterday that he will be on Kobe Bryant a lot more than he was in game one. Dante Jones on him now. Bryant shakes it off and knocks it down.
You know, the difference between watching Shane Battier defend Kobe Bryant and everybody else, he's getting wide open looks. Where Shane Battier was contest to the face, made it tough.
Anthony short on his jump shot, his first of the game. Anthony had that great first quarter, 16 points in game one. Billups deflects it from Kobe Bryant. Here's Anthony against Ariza, drive inside, misses the layup. Dante Jones right there, he missed it. Ariza tips it, ball knocked loose. Anthony drives in. Took him a while, but they get the 2 points and a foul.
And that's a great move by Anthony. But if I'm the Lakers, if you want to win a championship, run back. Pau Gasol, Andrew Bynum did not cross half court, so it's left to be 3-on-3. There's no shot blocking. And that's after 2 misses and a drive. That's inexcusable if you're saying you want to win a championship.
It's been a hot topic in Los Angeles. Again, this team's so talented, but there are periods where they don't seem to play as hard as they should. Phil Jackson has admitted it. The players have admitted it. They were down by 13 in the first quarter of game one. There were just over 3 minutes gone by here tonight. Ariza stripped of the ball by Anthony. 3-on-2 for Denver. Billups to Anthony. Anthony for 3. Won't go. Dante Jones. Can it get the tip to go down? Fisher with the right hand. Flips it off. Gasol.
If you're the Nuggets, that's where 5 guys have to rebound. You also put pressure on the perimeter guys to get in and help the bigs. You got to keep a body on Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol.
Well, you see Billups is his main man to guard right now is Chauncey Billups. Kobe Bryant. Billups gets it into Kenyon Martin and foul by Bynum. So Kenyon Martin will shoot 2. Bynum his first personal.
And here's where you have to talk about it. You do a good job of coming over and help. Now you look at 4 other guys. You have to load to the basketball and be in position to rebound. Nobody's there. Pau Gasol wants it more than anybody else. The great soft hands. Too easy.
And to me on that play, that's Dante Jones has got to rotate inside of Pau Gasol and, for lack of a better term, try to break his legs. Try to keep him from getting into that athletic jump.
And, you know, there's probably somebody saying, well, Dante Jones is defending Kobe Bryant, so he's not supposed to help. You give up that jump shot as opposed to an uncontested layup for Pau Gasol.
Martin, second free throw. That's good. That was key in game one. Denver missed 12 free throws, especially early. And what was a fairly good lead early in the game could have been much bigger if not missing the free throws. They pointed to that as a big reason why they lost game one. Jones trying to be physical with Kobe Bryant, and a whistle. We're seeing a quick whistle early. They're calling it a little tighter than we saw in game one. Dante Jones is first.
But you make a good point. What you have to do as a player is realize, okay, how is the game being officiated? And then you make the adjustments. And all you ask as far as from referees, just be consistent all night long.
Bryant trying to post up. We saw him post up quite a bit in game one, Jeff. As Jones picks up his second foul. Can't put both forearms when you're below the foul line extended.
Well, again, they're in their triangle offense, have great flexibility. Jones fronting the post, and then when he adjusts behind, it's a bad angle to see if that was a foul or not. There's only a certain amount of contact in every area of the floor that you can use with your hands and forearms.
Ariza for three. He's not just a defender. He's really worked on his three-point shooting. He's knocked down a couple of key ones in these playoffs.
The patience of Bryant. They're putting him on the block. Double team comes. You got to trust your teammates. Move the basketball.
Well, at least the first few minutes, a much better start for the Lakers, who trailed by 13 in that opening period on Tuesday night. Kenyon Martin left wide open. They'll give up that shot, but he's been hitting it so far in the series.
And I'm sure those are shots that Phil Jackson and the Lakers coaching staff will live with.
Bynum. Martin fronted him. Bynum gets in and draws the foul. That's 3 fouls on Dante Jones.
But his foul trouble is not really an issue because he only basically plays the first 7 to 8 minutes of each half. Because Denver is so undersized, Kenyon Martin is fronting Andrew Bynum with no ball pressure by Carmelo Anthony and late rotation along the baseline, which really should be a steal of that lob pass.
Carmelo Anthony trying to get an explanation from Steve Javie about something.
And what that was, Mike, is he felt he was being rooted out of the post on the last possession by Ariza, who did a tremendous job making Anthony's post catch difficult.
Anthony's got a big advantage pounds-wise. Ariza says you just keep battling. You don't worry about what happened before. He said it took him a while to learn that. He used to pout sometimes when he didn't play well, missed a shot or was getting torched. Dante Jones inside, misses. Martin keeps it alive, but Gasol the rebound. Bryant for three. Kobe Bryant game one, 2 of 3 from downtown, part of his 40-point night. Chauncey Billups just flips one up, won't go. Lakers look to push 2-on-1. Bryant, Fisher. Kobe Bryant, count it, and a foul. And Dante Jones walks right to the bench as he picked up his 4th personal in less than 6 minutes.
I can remember making the same play to Reggie Miller, giving him the basketball early, anticipating him giving it back to me, and I'd wind up with a wide open shot. But you talk about Kobe Bryant, a flat-out scorer. All he sees is the rim, gets the contact in the hoop, going to the line for the three-point play.
So J.R. Smith comes in early with Jones quickly sitting down. Smith is a terrific offensive player. We spoke about it in game one of the best off-the-bench scorers in the entire NBA. He was a little off the mark in game one. Finished with just 8 points in 24 minutes. Anthony on the drive. Gets it inside to Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, that's the reason why I talked about putting the ball in the hands of Carmelo Anthony. He's no longer just a scorer. He's a spectacular scorer, but he's a guy looking to make plays.
As Lakers turn it over, that's already 4 turnovers for the Lakers. Anthony had 4 assists in game one in addition to those 39 points. Right now, Lakers by 1.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Brought to you by Priority Mail Flat Rate Boxes. Only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Welcome back to Los Angeles, Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. And based on past performance, skeptics abound about whether this Denver team is committed to the defensive end of the floor. But you really have to look no further than their young star, Carmelo Anthony, to know exactly how far this young team has come.
Me and George sat down and he was talking about defensive schemes on Kobe. He was like, we're going to put Kane on him, son. And I stopped him in his tracks. Said, George, we got swept with that last year. We're not putting Kane on Kobe. I'll guard him. You know what I mean? I'll guard Kobe. George was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure, man. Just, put me on. I'm going to make him work. I'm going to try to make all the shots tough. Try to make it hard for him. But I wanted to take that challenge.
Now, a healthy assist, guys, goes to George Karl's longtime assistant, Tim Gergerich. At the end of last season, he went to his coach and he said with a gentle nudge, we have got to go back to the system that made us so successful in Seattle, guys. And Denver all season long has paid the price on that end, guys.
There was a big change as Gasol, speaking of defense, blocks Carmelo Anthony's three-point attempt right from training camp, even before Billups was obtained, as Bryant misses Gasol on the tipping. They decided to change, and the players have followed suit, and they've committed to being a much better defensive team. Nene has it wrestled away from Bynum. When the Lakers commit to playing defense, they've been a very good defensive team. The commitment hasn't been there every night as Bynum comes up short. Billups the rebound.
But that's a good duck in by Bynum.
And Bynum, that's a hard knock away from Nene, and a technical foul is called on Chauncey Billups. He argued the call. Nene felt he got hit. It would have been Bynum's second. Bryant will shoot the technical free throw.
But I don't mind that technical foul from Chauncey Billups. That's leadership. Rather than having Nene being the guy arguing with the non-call, let the leader, the guy that everyone respects, go over and calmly acknowledge that it was a missed call and talk about it.
To me, Bynum was trying to take a foul on that play.
It almost seemed that way.
To prevent the layup.
Instead, 19 on the shot clock. J.R. Smith will inbound. Lamar Odom is checked in now for the Lakers. Billups gets inside, finds Martin. And Kenyon Martin, the beneficiary of some nice passes. He's got 8 points already.
But you see the value of penetration at both ends. Dribble penetration. It's led to 2 second shots by Gasol. It's led to 2 dunks by Kenyon Martin. You've got to figure out how you can get the ball into the paint on offense.
And Odom has it knocked out of bounds. Still Laker ball.
Well, here, Bryant's doing a good job shading him. Billups with extraordinary strength. Very good wraparound bounce pass to Martin.
Gasol inside, can't finish, but Odom right there. And the Lakers' size doing a good job on second shot opportunities once again.
You can say the Lakers' size, but the Nuggets' inability to put 5 guys in the paint trying to rebound, that's really the key. It's about their lack of effort towards getting the rebound.
Yeah, when the ball goes to the basket, you need 5 guys to be in the paint.
They had 10 more offensive rebounds in game 1. And several more already here in game 2. Bryant. Odom. Gasol. Single coverage with Nene. Gasol kicks it out of Ariza. Fakes a 3. Nice move. Gets inside. Flips up a wild shot. Count it. And a foul. Trevor Ariza with a chance for a 3-point play.
I like the mindset, though. Not falling in love with the jumper. Once again, the pump fake gets the defender behind him, and then circuit shot with the left hand off the glass. The contact, outstanding job of controlling the basketball and finishing in traffic by Ariza.
Ariza averaging 10 points per game in the playoffs. Has 6 to start here in the first quarter. Lakers up by 7. Martin again. Kenyon Martin, who's averaging 10 a game in the playoffs, has 10 already.
I talked about allowing Kenyon Martin to shoot jumpers. You're talking about 4 out of his 5 field goals have been at the rim. That's inexcusable defense.
Kobe Bryant inside, and he got hacked. J.R. Smith picks up his first, and Bryant will return to the free throw line. Chris Anderson will check in.
As a coach, you say if he shoots jumpers, that's on me. But if he gets to the rim without a body on him, that's on you guys. That's not following the game plan or the strategy. Excellent job of creating the offense and putting the ball in the hands of the player at the right time.
Bryant's 40-point game in game 1 was the second of the playoffs. He did it in game 2 against Houston, and 8th overall in his playoff career. And again, he had the big fourth quarter. Now, he had the 18 points in the fourth quarter 17 times in his career in the playoffs. He's had double figures in the fourth quarter in a game that the Lakers had to come back trailing in the fourth quarter to win a playoff game. He has done it over and over and over again. 7-point lead, just under 3.5 remaining in the first.
And it sounds a little bit premature, but I think this is critical right now. Denver's got to get a hold of this game defensively on the board, because right now it's not looking good.
Anthony was off to a tremendous start in game one. Is 1 for 5 with a couple of turnovers in game two. Anderson got hit in the face as Gasol got his post position. Now drives across, stripped by Billups, knocked loose. And a whistle and a loose ball foul. He's going to go against Gasol. Mark Davis says to the guys, knock it off, stop arguing. There's been a lot of complaining. And we'll have a timeout. He took a shot. Nuggets taking some shots here in the first quarter.
Well, very good rotation on the baseline drive by Anthony Gasol. Does a great job of shutting it off. Ariza's there on the spin. That's excellent team defense by the Lakers.
Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first. Lakers impressive early on. Back at Staples Center, the celebrities out in force for game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Jake Gyllenhaal sitting here courtside. Will Ferrell as well. Pretty good lineup tonight. Even Tom Cruise taking in the action as the Lakers off to a good start, getting some easy buckets inside, Jeff.
Well, they've all come about because of dribble penetration. Shooting 57% from the floor. They've already gotten 7 free throws and 3 second shots. And you watch Jarrett Fisher here. As the ball goes to the basket, someone has to step in front of Gasol. That's just too easy. Go to the front of the rim and tip it in. And now Gasol returns the favor. He drives it. Kenyon Martin misses the help and then fails to block out. Lamar Odom on the run to the rim. And what you see from the perimeter defenders of Denver, when the ball goes to the basket, they're standing and watching instead of getting involved in the paint game.
And you can get in the habit of time and time out saying, hey, my bad, my bad. Enough with the my bad. At some point, somebody has to put a body on these Laker bigs.
Multiple my bads get you beat.
Lakers sent in some of the bench. The bench played very well in the first half of game 1. Luke Walton, Sasha Vujacic in. Anthony to the basket, misses, knocked loose. Ball picked up by Walton. The Nuggets with a more aggressive team. They seem to be a step ahead in the first half of game 1. That's not the case here tonight. Bryant banks it in. Lead is up to 9.
I'm really interested in how many jog backs there have been in this game. Right there, Anthony, great job on the pick and roll, just missed the layup, but then jogging back instead of sprinting back. And again, if you're watching Denver right now, it's just not good enough, this effort in transition.
Vujacic for 3. Off the mark. Smith the rebound. Nuggets could use somebody to get hot right now. J.R. Smith, he's got great range, rattles in the 3. When he gets hot again, you said it in game 1, he's one of the guys that can really light it up in a hurry.
Well, he's a dangerous guy when he knocks down shots because the basket just gets bigger and bigger and his range increases.
Gasol, Anderson guarding him, but Pau Gasol blows by him. 6 points, 5 boards for Gasol.
And Anderson's a great weak side shot blocker, but he's a little light when he's trying to guard his own guy in the low post.
Vujacic in pursuit. Smith falls down, lost it out of bounds.
Well, right here, a good spin off the body pressure by Anderson. That's excellent footwork in the low post.
Well, it's great footwork offensively, but it's poor footwork defensively. You watch Chuck Hayes in the Houston Rockets series, kept a body on Powell and also moved his feet.
Bryant in the post, can't get it to go. Anderson the rebound. And Billups will come the other way. Denver shooting just 38% from the field. A block, clean up top, but it looked like he hit him down below as Vujacic picks up the personal, and Chauncey Billups will go to the line.
Well, Billups is so good at creating the contact. Recognizes he has him beat. Vujacic has to fight through the screen, really leans towards him. That's Vujacic going straight up until the end when he deflects the basketball and gets part of the body of Billups.
Now, Billups is one of the best free throw shooters in the NBA, but in game one, he missed 3 consecutive free throws in the first half. He hadn't done that in any game, regular season or playoff, in 6 years. Had never done it in a playoff game. And look, he misses another free throw. Again, one of the premier guys at the line.
It all started with the Van Gundy jinx. When he placed the bet saying that Billups was going to make it, it was surefire. He struggled since then.
I'm neither going to take credit nor blame. But it is shocking. And you think about it. Game one, J.R. Smith 2 for 6 from the line. Billups 6 for 9. That's 8 for 15 out of your 2 premier scorers in the backcourt.
Very few guys in the league you want on the line before him. Walton spots up for 3. That won't go. Fight for the rebound. Anderson, ball falls to Kobe Bryant. And Bryant having a big first quarter. He's got 12.
You know, Pat Riley said once when he was the Lakers coach, no rebounds, no rings. Denver has no chance of advancing as Klaiza knocks down a 3. They have no chance of advancing past this Laker team unless they can get the rebounding under control.
Klaiza just off the bench hitting the 3s. Those are 2 big 3s. Bryant got hit. J.R. Smith. And Smith hit a 3. Both those just to keep them in the game right now. I mean, it's only 6, but those 2 3s were huge for Denver.
Well, they were big time, but I want to go back to what Coach talked about. You think about where the Nuggets are right now. It's a 6-point ball game, and they've given up second shot after second shot. At some point, if you want to win this game, you have to make a commitment to getting rebounds.
Lakers 6 of 7 from the line to start. Bryant hits another. Our NBA calendar Friday on TNT. Game 2 from Cleveland. What a game 1 that was. Last night as Orlando came from behind from 17 down to beat the Cavaliers and take game 1. Then Saturday on ABC, our coverage begins at 8 Eastern. Tip off shortly after 8:30. Game 3 of this series from Denver. And Monday, game 4 from Denver. Can't wait to get to Denver. That atmosphere all season long, and especially during the playoffs, has been just spectacular. Fans so fired up to get a conference final game back for the first time in 24 years. Shot clock and game clock nearly identical, about a second difference. Billups to Anderson. Takes it out, stolen by Walton. Walton ahead to Bryant. Bryant gets it to Vujacic. Vujacic at the buzzer. That would have been a 2, but off the mark. And the first quarter comes to an end. Kobe Bryant finished game 1 in style with 18 points in the fourth quarter in the victory. He starts game 2 in style. 14 points. And it's the exact opposite score than what we had in game 1. Nuggets led that one 31-23. But here a couple of nights later, it's the Lakers up by the same score.
Welcome back to Los Angeles with Denver coach George Karl. Coach, an efficient half offensively for Los Angeles. Where are they hurting you most?
Well, I think I'm happy to be down 8 points. I mean, we were poor offensively in our decisions. We turned it over a lot, and they killed us on the boards, which we're just not reacting right now to how good they are as offensive rebounders.
Carmelo was affected from the outset of game 1. Obviously a slow quarter there. What's changed for him tonight?
I think he's just got to be patient and relaxed. I mean, right now we're still in the game after a bad quarter. We need a good quarter in the second quarter.
George, thank you. Mike?
All right, Doris. Carmelo Anthony stormed out of the gates first quarter of game 1. Hit 7 of 8 from the field, had 16 points. They've really played him physical here to start this one.
Well, a couple of things. Trevor Ariza really stepping up to the challenge, fighting before the catch, and then high hands. And what they're doing, helping behind. The Laker bigs are coming over. Pau Gasol, the designated guy, Roman double teaming. Coach and I talked about it. You'd much rather see Carmelo Anthony catch the ball at the top of the key where he can see the help and expose it.
Right now he's on the bench. It's Billups, J.R. Smith, Anderson, Martin, and Klaiza. Bad pass. And a backcourt violation. Meanwhile, Shannon Brown has come in. George Karl had that look at the end of game 1. Said he fell asleep about 4 a.m. that night. Shannon Brown in the game. Phil Jackson playing a lot of different point guards, saying before the game it all has to do with matchups. He likes Brown on Billups as Odom misfires. Gasol, another offensive rebound. Anderson, a terrific shot blocker, is guarding. Nice pass inside. Odom lost it, got it back, puts it back up, and in again. 6 offensive rebounds already for the Lakers.
And from Denver's standpoint, yeah, their bigs are getting pounded right now. But what perimeter player is going to step up and go get the ball when the ball's in the air?
Glazer just does on this side. Dennis Glazer, good size. For a swingman as Phillips trying to get it inside to Anderson. Pass to Martin. Kenyon Martin double team. J.R. Smith on the pull-up. And Gasol the rebound. Denver 37% from the floor. Vujicic. Smith got a piece of it. And plays of the rebound. Chauncey Billups. And Billups off the mark. He's 1 for 4.
And if I'm George Karl, I'm putting Carmelo Anthony back in the ball game. You have to find a way to get easy hoops and get him going.
Vujicic again an open look. Vujicic just can't find the range. You hear the crowd a little restless. He's out there to score and shoot, but he's not able to get it to go down. Kenyon Martin. Gasol already with 9 rebounds, and we're just 2 minutes into the second. He has had some huge rebounding games in these playoffs.
I love the fact he's rebounding like he's at a big man camp. He is going after the basketball, keeping it high, fundamentally sound.
Brown, tough floater from Shannon Brown. And the lead up to a dozen. Smith. Laker defense has had good help defense as Glazer hits a three-pointer. His second one, and they're both huge. The game looks like it's getting away from the Nuggets a little bit. He's hit a couple of clutch shots. And Phil Jackson calls timeout. The Lakers playing well early. Still early in the second. A 9-point LA lead.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Brought to you by Universal Pictures comic adventure Land of the Lost, starring Will Ferrell, in theaters June 5th. And Windows, Life Without Walls.
Two simple words. Time warps.
Something's happening. It's beautiful. Did we go back in time and space?
Kobe Bryant going for a 6th Western Conference title has a lot of Laker history to live up to. Magic Johnson and Jerry West both led the team to 9.
Back game 2. Will Ferrell at the Staples Center as the Lakers leading by 9. You heard Jerry West's name. He made quite a bit of news last couple of days. West, the former Laker great, former Laker executive, had this to say: if I had to have somebody make a last-second shot, it would be Kobe. But even though it's hard for me to be objective because I brought Kobe to L.A., I do think LeBron has surpassed Kobe as a player. Needless to say, here in L.A., that was talked about quite a bit, written about in the papers, talked about on the sports shows. As Kobe Bryant kind of just played it off, said, I love Jerry. That's all right. I like the challenge when somebody challenges me to be the best. Mine and misses. What do you guys think of that, Mark?
I like the way that Kobe Bryant handled it in his answer. I'm sure he was a little bit disappointed, but you look at LeBron James, and no disrespect, there's an incredible basketball player that's going to be in the discussion for being all-time great. But I got a suggestion. How about Michael Jordan being the logo? When are we going to do that? I want to tell the truth.
You know what? You want to change the logo? If Smith misses?
No, he's not saying change. He's saying update.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying Beyonce, Jerry West. It's time for an upgrade. Michael Jordan should be the logo.
And a foul on J.R. Smith trying to deny Luke Walton. That's 3 on J.R. Smith, so he has 3. Dante Jones has 4. Ronaldo Balkman, who would probably play some minutes for the Denver Nuggets because he's a good versatile defender. He sprained his ankle in pregame warm-ups of Game 1, and he's not even active tonight. He's on the bench in street clothes.
And, going back to Jerry West's quote, there's no Nothing wrong with him taking a stance that he thinks LeBron's the best player. Hey, look, there's only 3 people in the class that they're talking about. Wade, Kobe, and LeBron. Everyone else is in a different class. They're in the honors class.
Great pass, Farmar to Odom. And Lamar Odom active off the bench. So it's Farmar and Shannon Brown out there right now. Will Jackson has gone deep in his bench. Inside pass. And Carmelo Anthony is fouled from behind. Got hit in the head. And I believe it's going to be on Odom. It is. And it's his first.
And Jordan Farmer continues to play solid basketball. That's pick and roll. That's old school right there. Crisp bounce pass in rhythm. Lamar Odom. All he has to do is catch and finish. Outstanding execution by Farmer.
So Carmelo Anthony to the line.
Well, and then a similar thing, I was a big baseball guy, but they talked about the top 50 guys, and actually A-Rod was number 2 behind Albert Pujols. There's no shame in that. When you talk about having a legit guy being number 1, it's okay to be number 2.
Why do we always have to say he's the best or he's the second best or he's the top?
Because that's what drives the
great
conversation. Yeah, but that's too simple. No one's going to listen to that.
I like simple.
No, we're talking about a guy that's been on the fence forever, so you can't really break it down to him, Coach.
He's got splinters, I know that.
Farmar looking for Walton, wants to take advantage of Carter. Nice pass, and Bynum puts it in. Laker bench with some pretty assists here on back-to-back possessions.
Lakers are playing really sound offense, but Denver, unlike game 1, is not giving themselves a chance in this game right now because they're making mistake after mistake.
That's not the shot they want. Anderson from outside the elbow.
Oh, you're 100% right. This is the first time that this Denver Nugget team has shown up.
Farmar, another quick bullet pass and an easy bucket. The lead is 14. And a whistle before that. A timeout call. George Karl called it. You couldn't hear it as the crowd getting fired up. Laker bench again here in the first half doing some nice things.
Disappointing, but you got to give the Lakers credit. Making plays. Farmer again. Outstanding read. Just a good job. Solid basketball by the Lakers. Disappointing effort by the Nuggets thus far.
Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires get you there using less gas. Fuel Max, only from Goodyear. Staples Center, Los Angeles, a packed house. Lakers giving them plenty to cheer about. A 14-point lead, almost 5 minutes into the second quarter. A Desperate Housewives sitting courtside. There are a lot of celebrities tonight. That's one of my favorite actors, John Lithgow. And the governor's wife is here as well. And, of course, we don't even need to put anything on. You got your wish, Jeff. He's simply Jack.
Just Jack. And, you know what? For Maria Shriver to go through life as Mrs. Terminator, how do you do that? You know, that must be hard.
I got to ask both of you. George Karl was talking about Nicholson and how he always talks to the opposing coach and opposing players. Karl was saying, he's always been so nice to me. Did he talk to you guys a lot when you were on the visiting sidelines?
Well, he always talked to me, and I found it, as Carmelo Anthony knocks down the jump shot, I found it interesting. I didn't mind it at all. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, he was so nice that you didn't want to disappoint him by standing in front of him. So I always was squatting. I was a stander, but I squatted in front of Jack in the ultimate sign of respect. Plus, that scene from A Few Good Men where he goes after Tom Cruise, I just didn't want to be on the end of that rant.
So it's a survival mode.
I wonder if Tom Cruise gets nervous looking across the court at Jack right now.
Shot clock winding down. Walton had it deflected. Good hands that time from Denver. 6th Laker turnover. Klaiser, who's already got 2 threes, in and out. Nene, the offensive rebound. Anthony gets inside. Good power move. And Anthony with a couple of buckets.
And that's the dangerous thing with this Denver Nugget team, especially playing Klaiser on the floor. They can stretch the floor and they can heat up.
Farmar inside. Nice move. Farmar and Walton have done a nice job off the bench.
That baseline cut, when you throw it into the post, is very, very hard to defend.
Walton now guarding Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, pretty jump shot. Coming up on the midway point of the second. In many ways, the Nuggets lucky they're only down by 10. Odom for three. Wow. Odom's actually shot the ball extremely well from three-point range in the playoffs. That one not even close.
But for me, if I'm a defensive coach of Denver, I am fine with Lamar Odom as Anthony knocks in another one. I'm fine with Lamar Odom getting three-point jump shots.
Well, Carmelo Anthony was 1 for 6 from the field after the first. He's 4 for 4 here in the second. Bynum, nice turnaround. 7 points for Bynum.
But Phil Jackson saying enough is enough. He's getting Trevor Ariza, Kobe Bryant also, but Ariza back in the ball game to try to get a body on Carmelo.
Farmar. And a foul. Glazer, probably a smart play. As the foul call. Let's listen to a recent George Karl huddle.
Now, how many times this year have we started off kind of soft and not involved in the game? You're fine. You're fine, except you got to dig back in. You can't go right now and give them another 4 or 5 minutes of the way we played. First of all, you play harder, you play defense. And then here, since you didn't get the whistle attacking the rim, don't stop attacking the rim. That's who you are. What you are is an attack team.
Nobody attacking defensively that time as Ariza inside. And Trevor Ariza, 8 points, lead back to 12.
Here's what I love about that play. Both guys, and Kobe Bryant and Trevor Ariza, come out pointing the finger at Andrew Bynum. Outstanding job of creating that opening with a solid screen.
Anthony's got the hot hand here in the second and draws the foul. We'll go back to the line.
And to me, if you're the Denver Bigs and you're not protecting the basket and you're not rebounding the ball, then you might want to consider, if you're George Karl, playing Chiesa at the 4 along with one big, so there's more room.
Meanwhile, Anthony goes to the line. He is on some stretch each of the last 4 games. Carmelo Anthony, 30 points plus. In this 4-game stretch, he's averaging 35 a game. Obviously, the last 3 games of the Dallas series and the first one of this series, shooting 54%. He's rebounding 7.5. He is really elevating himself. As George Karl told us before the series, he was looking forward to seeing how Anthony would finally play, gets a chance to play on the big stage, the conference finals for the first time. And he really has delivered in a year where there's some expectations for this team.
Stepped it up on both ends of the floor. He's been, one of the leaders. You have star players co-sign what the coach is talking about. It puts pressure on everybody else to do that. And I like what he's doing right now. The last 9 Nugget points, he is playing with a sense of urgency, hoping that other guys catch on.
Right now, keeping him in the game. Back to 11 with just under 5 remaining here in the second. Phillips returns. Anthony Carter's back in. Kenyon Martin. Kobe Bryant. And Bryant now with 16 points.
I mean, again, they're just pounding them in the paint. Post-ups, drives, second shots. You've got to build your defense from inside out. You got to protect that basket.
Anthony drives, hard move, banks it in. Terrific play from Carmelo Anthony. He is in a groove right now. Started slowly, but boy, has he picked it up.
Not much you can do defensively except expect help.
Bynum blocked and a jump ball. How about Bynum with the steal? And then Carmelo Anthony, Kenyon Martin grabs the ball and he'll jump it up.
If you're Kenyon Martin, with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this half, no rebound. The pressure is on him to be the enforcer for this Nuggets team, and you have to rebound the basketball. It starts with Kenyon Martin.
Right now, the Nuggets -6 on the boards. Will be talked about all series. Ariza deflects it, and Anthony lets it go out of bounds.
And on top of that, Carmelo Anthony doesn't have a defensive rebound either. So if you're starting small forward who's really got good size and lift, and your power forward aren't rebounding, who is?
And a couple of jab steps, makes his move on Gasol. Stripped by Fisher, gets it back, and gets it Anthony Carter. Shot clock winding down, they turn it over. That's their 6th.
And here's what I don't understand from the Nuggets. Carmelo Anthony has finally gotten it going in this ballgame.
Bynum inside, throws it down, and a foul. Nuggets caught sleeping on the inbounds. Lakers making some nice entry passes, and the lead back up to 13.
We've been on the Lakers from time to time with their lackadaisical effort. This is inexcusable for the Nuggets. This is poor defense trying to win a game on the road. That's just throwing it ahead and then committing the foul. Absolutely, George Karl has to be frustrated. And if I'm coaching the Nuggets, I can't wait to get into the locker room and talk about it.
Ball last touched by Billups. Billups and Nene went for it. And the Lakers will get a new 24. George Karl sends in Linus Kleza once again. And Anthony Carter will come out. You need some offense right now. Kleza can light it up. Hasn't scored a lot in the playoffs, but he's got some outside ability. Anthony on Gasol. Bynum, aggressive. Won't go.
Oh, interesting thing, drawing Bynum's foul shot. Carmelo Anthony ran over to George Karl and almost directed this substitution with Kleza for Anthony. Not only offensively, but also it puts Melo on Kobe Bryant defensively.
And Kobe Bryant commits the foul on the Carmelo Anthony jump shot. First foul on Bryant.
And it forces the hand. Now Bryant on Melo. He says, oh, take your time. Let me get to my spot. We talk about now, you're catching the ball with everybody eyes on them, so you know where the help is coming from. Aggressive move causing the contact.
The West Finals will continue from Denver Saturday on ABC. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. Lakers and the Nuggets from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. The conference finals returns. Will it be 1-1? Or will the Lakers have that 2-0 advantage? Right now, LA up by 11.
Well, one thing I totally agree with George Karl with. It's an 11-point game. The Lakers should be up 20-plus points the way that the Nuggets have played this first half. So if you're George Karl, you're satisfied with being where you are. It could be a lot worse.
Gasol drives on Martin. Martin, good tough defense, and gets the rebound as well. Kleza wide open for three. And Bryant will bring it up. Maybe like game one, where the Nuggets really played much better in the first half, but it was a 1-point Laker lead at halftime because they finished strong. As Anthony fouls Kobe Bryant. And we'll have a timeout with 2:40 remaining.
You want to win? Run back. You want to win? Rebound. You got to play out, all out, every possession. The Nuggets are not doing that tonight, and that's why they find themselves in an 11-point hole.
.240 remaining, second quarter in Los Angeles. And coming up at halftime, the Toyota halftime show. Stuart Scott, John Barry, Michael Wilbon, and Magic Johnson. They'll interview Dwight Howard after the Magic's big road victory in Game 1 in Cleveland last night, the Eastern Conference Finals. And also take a look at the first half here at the Staples Center in Game 2. In Game 1, one of the impressive things about Denver in a losing cause was how hard they played. Not necessarily the case here in the first half, Mark.
You want to win. You talk about the effort of Nene getting back. Carmelo Anthony defending Kobe Bryant. Your job is to sprint, not being a home run trot. You're not Barry Bonds. Being a full-out sprint. Take the pressure off Melo to play one-on-one, and you force Bryant into being passive as opposed to aggressively playing one-on-one with Melo. This is all Nene. Your job is to sprint to the paint, be in position to help, and you make Melo's job so much easier. That's bad energy. That's bad effort, and I don't see anybody in blue pointing the finger.
Well, my whole problem is you've got Kobe Bryant not in a full blowout type of speed. He's in like a half trot coming down, sizing up Anthony. That's not even hard to do what we're saying Nene should do, which is run as fast as you can to the paint to support Carmelo Anthony. It gets him a foul. It gets Bryant to the line. All bad things happen when you're not going to play all out.
Bad things happen when he gets to the line. That's one of the keys in trying to slow him down, keep him off the free throw line. He had 13 free throw attempts in game 1. This is his 8th already here in the first half of game 2.
And if you're Nene, you got to give George Karl a lot of credit because he's sticking with you after a couple of less than stellar efforts.
Phillips to Nene. Nice bounce pass. Martin, and Martin the finish. Daniel Martin, 12 points. He's had some nice passes, freeing him up for some dunks. He thought he got fouled. He's looking at Mark Davis now. Kobe Bryant didn't expect the pass, still catches it, shot short. Gasol tips it, but right to Kleza. Good quick ahead pass, and Anthony puts it up. Shot won't go. Anthony battling Kleza. Good hustle to come down. Anthony guarded by Odom. Spin move. Has it blocked out to Kleza. Open three. It's good. Linus Kleza, his 3rd three-pointer here in the first half.
And Denver's expending a lot of energy complaining on nearly every trip down the floor at both ends of the floor.
Kleza's averaging only 6 points a game in the playoffs. He has 9.7 rebounds and gets his 8th rebound. A much-needed spark off the bench. Nene against Odom. Double. Out to Billups. Billups sets up for 3. That's good. Back-to-back threes. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. An 8-0 run by Denver.
You talked about it, Mike. Kleza has done an outstanding job giving this lineup some energy. Coming to this ball game and knocking down shots and also helping on the board.
Odom. Oh, they left him and he missed the layup. And Nene get a little wild after grabbing the rebound. Billups bumps into Fisher, and a foul on Fisher. That'll be the 14th foul against the Lakers. Linus Kleza making some big plays.
And he's not a guy that's afraid of the moment. He's had his biggest ball games on national TV. He's a knockdown shooter, and you talk about Billups, the pump fake. Excuse me, Derek Fisher, just me in the net. Knocks it down.
Kleza's only 24 years old. He's from Lithuania, played his college ball at Missouri. He has a 41-point game in his career, did it with the Nuggets last year. And another foul. Now they're in the penalty, and Billups will go to the line.
And I'm watching this Nuggets offense. Kleza's still going to get wide open looks. The way that the Lakers are defending him, they're not paying attention. So you move the basketball, and you're going to put the ball in the hands of a shooter.
And there you see, was drafted back in 2005. Then played college ball at Missouri. Moved to the United States when he was 16 years old. Went to high school in Maryland, and then 2 years at Missouri. He's got good size at 6'8". Can take me off the dribble. He's got good three-point range. Played on the Lithuanian national team this summer. They were 4th in the Olympics.
How does a kid from Lithuania who lives in Maryland go to Missouri?
The recruiting process of college basketball, very complicated.
Yeah, I'd say that. I think there's a story behind the story. No, I'm just saying.
Bryant has it stripped, knocked out of bounds. Still Laker ball. So despite the Lakers playing so well and the Nuggets struggling, and a lead that was up to 14, this 10-0 run, this is just like game 1, only the opposite. Brown, shot won't go. Kleza the rebound, and a loose ball foul called on Gasol. That's 2 on Gasol. Remember, in game 1, it was the Nuggets that were up by 13 in the first half, but the Lakers stormed back and wound up taking a 1-point lead at halftime. Denver trying to turn the tables here in game 2.
And sometimes a subtle move could spark a team. Go back to Carmelo Anthony saying to George Karl, put me on Kobe Bryant. Sometimes those type of gestures can wake up a basketball team.
Well, and also got a guy back on the floor in Kleza who was sitting. So give Coach Anthony a lot of credit for his substitution right there, and give George Karl credit for being open to a suggestion from a player who's on the floor.
Kleza's nearly doubled his postseason average. He did have a 14-point game earlier in the playoffs, but now a 12-0 run. It's a 1-point game. What a turnaround here for Denver. Odom giving an open jump shot. That's good.
But again, if I'm Denver, That's a good possession for your team defensively.
Shot clock turned off as we finish up the first half. Phillips with Bryant on him. On the drive, blocked by Odom. And it's still Nuggets ball, 3.2 remaining.
And at the end of that quarter, or this quarter, I'm surprised they don't give the ball to Anthony at the high post to get the last shot.
Phillips will inbound. Anthony trying to get free on some screens. Oh, Phillips bounced it off the back, and he banks it in. Kobe Bryant wasn't looking. He bounced it off and gave him the pass to himself as Brown throws it up. What a heads-up play from Chauncey Billups.
Well, Bryant with his back to the play, trying to help deny the ball to Anthony Billups. Good reaction. You have to throw that pass perfectly so it comes back to you. You got to get both feet in bounds. Solid play by Chauncey Billups.
And they come all the way back from 14 down to cut it to 1. Lakers still leading. Kobe Bryant had 18. He's with Doris.
Kobe, a 14-2 run by Denver. What happened?
We let up defensively. Started making stupid mistakes defensively.
How do you get back to what got you the lead, and what were those things?
Just get back to basics. Make sure we take care of the ball and contest shots.
Kobe, thank you. Mike.
Doris, short answers. He wants to go in the locker room and yell at his teammates, I think. They look so good early, but all of a sudden the turnaround. And we'll talk about the turnaround at the Toyota halftime show with Stuart, John, Michael, and Magic. We'll also interview Dwight Howard, talk about that series in the Eastern Conference Finals, and take a look at a wild first half. Lakers come out of the gate strong, go up by as many as 14. But the Denver Nuggets finish with a 14-2 run. Yes, Carmelo Anthony had 16, but Linus Kleza off the bench, 11 points and 8 rebounds in 11 minutes. Halftime of Game 2. Lakers by 1. Halftime Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Lakers lead just 1 as we get set for the third quarter. A roller coaster ride in the opening half, as the coaches will attest with their halftime talks.
Gentlemen, you can't play as bad as you played and you're down 10 points. Get back to playing basketball and cut this thing under 7 or 8 and you'll be fine in the second half.
You guys know exactly what we said, right? Our 2 minutes and ending quarters and halves are extremely important to us. And when you let all the momentum, all the air out of the building, it really bothers us.
And much like game number 1, the momentum changed in that first half. In game 1, it was the Lakers who had to come from behind. In game 2, it's now the Nuggets, and they did the job. And, we saw Mark Jackson, Carmelo Anthony, brilliant in the first half. He started slowly tonight, but boy, did he get them back in the game.
Well, the wake-up call came late, but the good news is for the Nuggets, they got the wake-up call. You talk about Carmelo Anthony struggling early on. Good Laker defense, fighting and making them work for everything. Trevor Ariza paying attention to detail, getting him out of his comfort zone. The help came quick. It came often, and they had active hands. Well, the second quarter came, and all of a sudden, it was time to dance for Carmelo Anthony. Isolation situations, talk about pull-up, one dribble, knockdown shots, too easy for him, and then moving without the basketball. It's a good job of getting to where he wants, and he's a big-time scorer, no secret. Nuggets with all the momentum.
And you see the terrific numbers after that slow start. And Anthony has had a brilliant playoff run. Right now his team down by 1. Meanwhile, Jeff, for the Lakers, what was the biggest difference in why they gained the lead and then nearly lost it?
Well, I thought Denver played a lot better offensively. Carmelo Anthony got going, and then I thought the shot selection of the Lakers was not what it was. They were living at the rim in the first quarter. More jump shots in the second quarter.
Anthony to Martin. Threw it a little behind him in a turnover. Bryant looks, finds Ariza, and Ariza got hit in the head by Billups. As we send it over to Doris Burke.
Guys, I had a chance to speak with Laker assistant Frank Hamlin, and he said not only was Klay able to go in and make shots which hurt us, but he felt like that completely changed the energy with which this Denver Nuggets team was playing. He said all season long we've lacked that killer instinct, that ability to finish quarters and close the deal. When we had a 14-point lead, we should have buried this team and didn't. When I asked him, did Kobe take a lead in the locker room, he said no. He said the voice was Phil Jackson that we heard. Guys?
Well, Doris, Klay not only hit 3 threes and had 11 points, he also had 8 rebounds. So he just was out there making all sorts of plays, getting some extended minutes. He hasn't played in every playoff game for him. And, Jeff, you even thought maybe he'd get the start in the third quarter. He played so well.
Right. I thought they finished this half strong. But, George Karl, you only know your team once you coach them. So trying to buy some time with Dante Jones on the floor to start the half, to give him the same spark off the bench that Klay gave them in the second quarter.
Usually it's J.R. Smith who sparks him off the bench as Carmelo Anthony hits another and continues his hot hand.
And you found Derek Fisher on Carmelo Anthony one-on-one, just too small. Carmelo Anthony able to lift and get a bird's eye view of the rim.
And again, you can hear the crowd. They're a little nervous out there. Jones deflects it. Lakers have gone through these type of stretches and games throughout the regular season, throughout the playoffs. I mean, they had a great regular season with 65 wins, but they've had some up and down, uneven performances in the playoffs as Martin couldn't hold on.
You got to recognize this defensively. Help has to come. They're deciding to let them play one-on-one. That's just a pull-up jump shot. That's too easy.
But, Mike, I want to go back to what you said about some bouts of inconsistency as Martin fouls Gasol. Every team in the league goes through that. This notion that there's consistency by any team is wrong. I'll tell you what. The best teams like the Lakers in Cleveland and Orlando and Boston play the most consistent good. And then you have the bottom four who play consistently bad. And then basically everyone else is going to be more up and down because it's hard to sustain good play.
Yeah, we have a foul away from the ball, but you guys have been very critical of their consistency in terms of their effort in some playoff games.
Well, that's the whole debate. When you talk about every team goes through moments like that, the reason why the Lakers have a greater margin of error is because they're more talented than everybody else. So they can win ball games without playing 100% as far as effort and energy. But when you begin to get further and further in the playoff times, that will come back to bite you.
And that, frankly, was what was so disturbing about Denver through the first 18 minutes of that half. The effort level, the energy they put forth, not even close to being good enough.
Ariza with a three, and the Lakers back up by 3.
And you see just how good Pau Gasol is on that post play. That's a fake pass to Derek Fisher, creating the wide opening for Ariza stepping in rhythm.
Anthony, speaking of in rhythm, he was 1 for 6 to start. He's 7 of his last 9. And he's got 20 points. Knocks it away, knocked it out of bounds. And they're going to stay still, the Laker ball.
And I'll tell you, you know you've won 9 championships as we see Carmelo Anthony raise up. You know you've won 9 championships when as that jumper's going to work, Phil Jackson's cleaning his glasses to make sure, hey, did I get a good look at that play right there? There's no worry by the Hall of Famer.
His team up by 1. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Bryant, the extra pass. Good ball movement. Ariza this time slashing inside. A 24-second violation. By the way, Dante Jones just before, as Jackson remains relaxed.
With clean glasses.
With clean glasses. Dante Jones picked up his 5th foul before. He's got 5 fouls in 8 minutes. It's not the quickest disqualification ever in the playoffs. Travis Knight fouled out in 6 minutes once for the Lakers, way back in '99.
I coached Travis Knight.
Yes, you did in New York as Anthony misfires Ariza the rebound. Obviously, you told him to be more aggressive defensively.
That wasn't when I was coaching him. We were moving our feet.
Bryant inside, flips it up, won't go, gets the rebound, back up, and puts it in. Bryant and Anthony once again putting on shows, each with 20 points here early in the third.
If I'm either coach, there's no way in the world I let Kobe Bryant play one-on-one on Carmelo Anthony. The ball has to go into the hands of somebody else.
Chauncey Billups, high arcing shot. Back of the rim won't go. Martin tips it out. Nene backdoor to Jones. Nice reverse layup. But Kenyon Martin made that play happen.
And who gets the offensive rebound on that? Martin, who tips it and controls it?
Yes.
All right.
Billups. Martin, okay. Carmelo Anthony, three-pointer won't go. Jones try to keep it alive. Ball loose. Ariza stepped out of bounds. Denver ball. Carmelo Anthony on his way to his 5th straight 30-point game here in the playoffs.
I like the way that Dante Jones is not giving in. Foul trouble or not, he is competing on the defensive end against Bryant.
Ariza get up on Anthony. Hard drive. Misses. Tip. Misses. Fisher the rebound. We'll let him play on that one. Fisher pulls up. Hits a three.
But I'm going to say it again. The ability to handle frustration is critical. Another jog back by a Denver player. This time Carmelo Anthony, after he didn't get the foul, led directly to Fisher having a wide open three in transition.
Billups gets inside. Pretty play from Billups. A little spin off the glass. We've seen them get frustrated with calls, either calls or non-calls. Talking about the Nuggets. Gasol, quick spin move. Martin stays with him. Doesn't give up on the play. Fisher will try another one. Two-point game. Still early here in the third. Martin pass. Nene inside. And a foul. Nene able to get it to go. And a chance for a three-point play as the Nuggets have tied it up.
And part of the problem, the Lakers are zoning areas. They're not defending Kenyon Martin or Nene. But your responsibility is not to just chill and think you're out of the play. You still have to respect these guys and be ready when they catch to keep a body on them. You fall asleep, you pay the price. Good ball movement by the Nuggets.
Kobe Bryant, his second foul. Nuggets have missed 4 free throws so far tonight. Again, that was a problem in game 1. Well, they missed 12. Right now, they're 11 for 16. Odom has come out for the Lakers. Bynum 6. Shot clock at 7. Billups right up on Kobe Bryant. Find Gasol. Couldn't handle a pass. Billups deflects it. Shot clock is not reset. Bryant for 3. Anthony may have gotten a piece of it. It's a 24-second violation. Good defense there from Denver.
Well, again, Billups crowding him. Good help rotation by Carmelo Anthony. And then a good contest by Anthony. And really, that's what defense is all about. One effort to the next effort to the next effort. And you don't ever stop until you secure the rebound.
Bryant continues to guard Billups. He was on Anthony a little bit in the first half. And a foul, no shot. And they're not in the penalty, just the second team foul. I believe it's on Odom. The player's now talking to Javi. I think he's going to say it's an offensive foul. He initially signaled that the foul stay here. But now I believe it's on Nene. Yeah, that's his third. Everybody was going to take the ball out for Denver. Let's see. Sometimes you wrap around. It's easy to do the wrap, but that's been going on all game.
Sometimes you just miss a call. Steve Javi will want to have that one back when he watches the film.
Gasol to Ariza. Ariza doesn't settle for the 3 and throws it down. Five for 5 from the field for Trevor Ariza. Fisher deflects it. Here comes Bryant. Back out, Ariza. Again with a drive to the basket. Oh, he goes down hard. He is hurting. Good aggressive move to the basket, but he paid the price. And watch, man, right. Appears to come down hard on that left hip. That came right after the terrific play as Nene picks up his 4th foul. Not a lot of contact, but once he's up in the air, enough to really get him to fall hard.
I like the fact continues to turn down 3. Defense running at him. My goodness, that's a heck of a poster. Trevor Ariza attacking.
Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires get you there using less gas. Fuel Max, only from Goodyear. Another close one here in the Western Conference Finals. Right now, Lakers up by 2 midway through the 3rd quarter. Time for tonight's edition of Gatorade Cooler Talk. Mark Jackson.
Oh, this is playoff defense. This is what allows you to win. You talk about Dante Jones in foul trouble. Says, no, I'm going to continue to compete. Didn't get the call. You still do your job. Battles Kobe Bryant, ball in the air, gets after the steal. How about paying attention to detail? You're going to beat me on my terms. Sends them one way. Help. You talk about pursuing the basketball. Anthony doesn't give up on the play. Contest and frustrating Kobe Bryant. It's the Nugget defense that have changed their level of intensity.
There you see Bryant, the strong first half. He was at the end of the first half almost maybe embarrassed by Chauncey Billups the way he bounced it off his back and scored that layup. You don't see that happen. Bryant, one of the, not only obviously maybe the most talented player, if you get to the argument with who else, but one of the smartest basketball players. Watches so much film, studies his opponents. And it's more than just ability, it's work ethic and basketball IQ.
Actually saw a quote by former point guard John Lucas, former coach, also said, hey, Kobe Bryant is the most fundamentally sound basketball player in the history of this game. And I can't argue with him.
Ariza called for the foul, trying to fight over the screen. That's 2 on Ariza.
And I want to make one point going backwards to that foul by Kenyon Martin. Great officiating to not overreact and call that a flagrant foul. Throughout the course of these playoffs, far too much overreaction to minimal contact. Great job by Steve Javie and his crew.
Let's see, 10:55 Eastern Time, May 21st. Great officiating. A quote from Jeff Van Gundy. Wow.
I say it all the time when it's warranted.
I say jot the time and date down now.
I'm actually one of the biggest advocates for the officials.
Over in and out.
Tough love is a form of support.
Nene just leveled Fisher. They're letting him play a little bit now. Anthony, that's a 3. Won't go. As Dante Jones falls down. Bryant ahead of the pack goes to Ariza. Ariza, count it, and a foul. Trevor Ariza releases, gets a beautiful feed, and he's now 6 for 6 from the field.
Here's a guy that's elevated his game already tonight. You're talking about making plays defensively, finishing in transition. Good catch, takes the hit from Kenyon Martin, and Kobe Bryant says, that's what I'm talking about. Another assist from me.
Trevor Ariza couldn't wait for the playoffs to start. Last year, he was out of the playoffs most of the way, broke his foot toward the tail end of the season, and he came out. He said a lot of good things that happened because of that broken foot. He worked on his shooting more, worked on his shooting form. He's become a better three-point shooter. He's one of those players that anytime something negative happens, either a trade or an injury, he tries to find some kind of positive out of it, and he certainly did that. And he's part of this 7-0 run. Nene stripped by Ariza to Fisher. Fisher back, won't go. And Nene the rebound.
But look at that transition defense. That was great transition defense that turned into great transition offense. All 5 Nuggets sprinted, Nene got ahead of the play, got the rebound, and ignited the transition the other way. Good effort by the Nuggets.
Glazer scores again right away off the bench. Gasol down low. Anderson's come on. He's starting. And Gasol, quick move. Lakers up by 7.
The Nuggets bigs are doing a poor job allowing Gasol to spin off of leaning on him.
Anderson not looking to shoot. Phillips finding Anderson, now drives underneath and banks it in. Anderson with his first field goal.
That was great patience by Phillips to keep his dribble along the baseline, shot fake, and find the cutting Anderson.
Chauncey Phillips has had a superb playoff so far. Fisher fake, Fisher drive, blocked by Anderson. Second in the NBA in block shots during the regular season. Phillips pulls up, that's a 3. And just like that, it's back to 2 again.
And that's also a good job by Nene, realizing that Derek Fisher wanted to create the contact. Don't let him off the hook. Make the smaller guy finish over you.
As Jeff, you just said before, once again, it's the Nugget defense that leads to that play. And Anderson block shot starting it. Anthony on Odom. Shot clock at 7. Bryant drives inside the finish. 75-71, just over 3 to play. Third quarter from Staples Center here in game 2. Anderson to Nene. Nene can't get it to go, and Gasol with his 12th rebound of the game. Fisher won't go. Ball kept alive by Gasol. Blocked but fouled hard. Offensive rebounds for LA once again.
Well, Denver has gotten themselves into some difficult matchup problems as the ball moves. Here, Anderson on Bryant. That's just too easy. Help has to come much earlier along the baseline.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Brought to you by Bud Light. With just the right taste that never fills you up, the difference is drinkability. And Year One. Get ready for the first road trip ever in theaters June 19th.
Late third quarter from LA. Lakers by 4. Time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Look presented by ESPN Access.
Oh, it's Kobe Bryant in transition once again. Certain guys want the basketball. Other guys are willing to do whatever it takes. You talk about taking off in an all-out sprint, and what separates him is the ability to take the hit and then change directions. So you see the hit and then eliminates the contest out of the pitcher, able to finish, get the basket, and the three-point play. Isolation, Chris Anderson, you're on the hot seat. Outstanding job, blow by, weak, help defense from the rest of the Nuggets. Kobe Bryant, that good.
He's also been, you can tell, Jeff, you notice this, he looks a little annoyed tonight at times with his teammates, and there's been so much made about this season, how he's become, the last couple of years, a better teammate, more patient. But we were talking to him the other day, and he still feels there's sometimes he knows he has to be the bad guy. He's got to be the guy that the teammates don't like because he gets on them. He just hopes his teammates realize it makes the team better and makes them individually better.
Well, there's no doubt when you're the voice of a team, and Kobe Bryant is the voice of this team, you can't always be supportive. You have to know when and pick your spot. Sometimes support, sometimes you have to try to inspire more effort. And tonight he has been, I think, a little short-tempered in a good way, in that he understands the importance of 2-0. And he's not seeing exactly what he wants from his team. He's trying to push him into that huge 2-0 advantage.
There's games 3 and 4 coming up in Denver, where the Nuggets were just superb this year and have not lost yet in the playoffs. Anthony gets inside, blocked from behind by Odom. That time he's fouled and he puts it in. And that's what we've been seeing from Anthony, the second and third efforts.
The beautiful part about it, not giving up on a play. You talk about attacking the basket, gets the first one blocked. On the blow by, help comes. Good job by the Lakers, but how about grown man move by Carmelo Anthony, able to put everybody on his back and get what he wants.
Odom, his third foul. Another missed free throw. So they've missed now 6 free throws tonight. 11 of 17, just 65%. The type of thing that's going to come back to haunt them again like it did in game 1.
And Denver's playing Kleza at the 4 spot now, so they're very small, and they're really going to have to gang rebound.
Ariza tried to fix it in there, gets it back off the deflection. Everybody diving now. Odom, and there's a 24-second violation. J.R. Smith has come on once again for Denver. One of the reasons Kleza may be playing a little bit more, obviously he's hitting some shots, but Smith strained his right calf at the end of game 1, and he's not 100%. By the way, Kenyon Martin's playing with a broken left ring finger, so there is a couple of little bumps and bruises that many players have. Phillips drives, misses, but draws the foul.
But you just notice, Kleza's in at the 4. There's more room to drive the ball. You can spread it more, and as long as they can protect the basket and finish their defensive possessions off with defensive rebounds, this could most likely be a better offensive unit for Denver.
And especially when Kleza's knocking down the shots. Billups to the line. Billups 15 points, 4 assists. Chauncey Billups now 3 of 5 from the free throw line in this game. He was 6 of 9, so he's missed 5 free throws in the first couple of games.
My eyes are deceiving me, not with the room that he has to drive. Good adjustment by George Karl, but this guy does not miss free throws.
He's mad at himself, shaking his head as he backtracks. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third. Well, another close game between these two teams here in the Western Conference Finals. Luke Walton in the game, drives, tried to lob it in and does. Nice pass, Walton to Gasol. Walton with 3 assists in limited minutes. Billups on the pull-up, puts it in. 18 for Billups.
Really shows you how tough it is to defend Chauncey Billups in pick and roll situations. One time comes off, gets to the cup. The next time is a pull-up jump shot. So as a defender, you don't know what he's going to do.
And Anthony a foul. Carmelo Anthony guarding Kobe Bryant right now. Picks up the foul. That's his second. And they're in the penalty.
So the first pick and roll, he gets to the cup. The second one, you're thinking, uh-oh, I got to get to the spot and stop him. He stops behind the screen in rhythm for the jump shot. A tough task to defend Billups in pick and roll.
And that's a poor choice by Carmelo Anthony. Love the effort, but the smart play has to come in. When you're in the penalty, you do not want to foul Kobe Bryant away from the ball 20 feet from the basket.
Perfect from the line tonight, 9 for 9. Tomorrow night, our friends at TNT will have game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Boy, did that series start off with a bang last night. Cavs only lost 2 games all season at home, losing game 1. And then we'll be in Denver for game 3 of the West Finals on ABC Saturday, 8:30 Eastern Time. And then Monday, also 9 Eastern Time, the Lakers and Nuggets game 4 from the Pepsi Center as Bryant stays perfect at the line. He's 10 for 10. He's only missed 1 in the 2 games, 22 of 23. Plays it. Walton guarding in. Anthony off the dribble, gets inside. Blocked by Gasol, but a foul. And the two share a little half amidst all these hard plays.
But Coach touched on it. It's different with this Nuggets lineup on the floor. There's only one guy that really does not have to be defended, and that's a slasher finisher in Anderson. Everybody else have to be defended on the perimeter. Billups, Anthony, Kleza, Smith, you have to guard those guys at the three-point line, so it makes it awfully tough to defend them.
Yeah, and if you've noticed, as that closeout to Anthony happened, he put the ball on the floor to challenge the feet of his defender. It's very difficult to close out to a guy as skilled as Anthony and both take away the three-point shot and defend his basket. So here he's just attacked Ariza's feet, went right past Ariza, and then the help defender, because it was such a direct line drive, couldn't get there in time.
That's why he's so dangerous offensively, because he can score in so many different ways. It's the free throws. He's got 24, same as Kobe Bryant. Final minute, third quarter, in a three-point game. Brown drives. Won't go. Gasol, another offensive rebound knocked out of his hands. Brown puts it up. That won't go. Anthony and Bryant fight, and a loose ball called on Kobe Bryant. The two of them going to try and grab it. And they call the foul on Bryant, and they're in the penalty. So Anthony will go back to the line. Both teams really battling down low. I don't know.
No, that's not a foul. But I can think about after the last technical Kobe Bryant received, says, hey, that's going to be my last one. That's a situation where maybe he picks up the technical in frustration with the bad call. But give the Nuggets credit. Pursuing the basketball, this is a different team. They are banging the boards right now.
No, you're talking about his technicals. He received his 5th last game, as we said throughout the playoffs. On your 7th technical of the playoffs, you get suspended for a game. Bryant very aware of that. And that's why he said that's the last one. Although he is allowed one more before he's penalized, but he doesn't want to take the chance. But we'll see. 1-point game. Carmelo Anthony now with 26. Anderson helping out. Bryant looks up at the shot clock, fires a 2. Won't go. Shannon Brown the rebound. The Lakers will hold it for the final shot of the period. Crowd getting on its feet as we wind down the 3rd quarter of game 2. Bryant inside, out to Brown. Brown the jump shot. Anderson the rebound. Anthony will not get it off in time, and that will end the 3rd quarter. Carmelo Anthony and Kobe Bryant once again doing the job for their teams. And once again, another comeback. This time, it's Denver down by as many as 14. They head to the 4th, down by 1. Beautiful night in Los Angeles, but right now the Lakers only up by 1 as we head to the 4th quarter. Time for our Burger King late game adjustments. It's Doris Burke with Coach Phil Jackson.
Coach Jackson, that last Denver lineup featured scorers at every position except for Chris Anderson. What are the challenges defensively with that unit?
Well, you don't have as much help on the screen roll. That's the biggest part of it. Anderson running up, set the pick, and now you have to stay at home on 3-point shooters. But we still have to find a way to do it. Still pack it in and keep Billups out of the lane.
First half, we saw both Jekyll and Hyde, things you've talked about with your team. How do you make sure Hyde shows up here in the 4th?
Well, that'll be an interesting proposition. We start with the basketball, so we'll have a little momentum to start with. But our bench is going to have to help us out here.
Coach, thanks. Mike.
All right, Shecky Burke getting Phil Jackson to laugh in the midst of this close game.
Well, my question to Doris is, how come Hyde is the good? Jekyll might be the one he wants.
I was going to bring that same question of how do you know exactly who the bad guy is?
Right now, Chris Anderson, the bad guy, as he picks up the foul, and Gasol will go to the free throw line. Of course, the game was close. In fact, Denver led by as many as 7 in the 4th quarter of game 1. It all came down to execution down the stretch of the game. Lakers certainly have the experience on the big stage in that. Can Denver learn from their mistakes in game 1?
And it's really the first time, interestingly, where Phil Jackson has Jordan Farmer on the floor when Chauncey Billups is the point guard for the Nuggets.
And again, Bryant looks like he's going to play the entire second half. And Mark mentioned this to me at the timeout. And we agree. Chauncey Billups has to stay on the floor. If Bryant's going to play the whole 24, so may too Anthony and Billups.
Jackson said he was concerned about Kobe Bryant playing so many minutes. Billups launches a long 3. And Gasol the rebound. Quick outlet. Bryant looking to post up Billups. Here comes the help. Anderson, a very good help defender. Bryant kicks it out. Ariza, an offensive foul. J.R. Smith draws the charge off the pass. And that's 4 fouls now on Kobe Bryant.
You know, George Karl raved about the growth of J.R. Smith. I don't know if he makes this play a year ago. Talk about willing to give up your body. Kobe Bryant, that's a wide open 3, but he takes the charge.
Billups draws the foul. He saw the Lakers really weren't ready defensively and just pushed the ball to the rim.
Well, that play was very reminiscent of a Nugget play in the first half where Nene was behind the action And now this time, confusion over matchups. Phillips had a steam. Farmar has to draw in from the corner and commits the foul. And again, these plays are plays that get you beat, and you're beating yourself instead of having the other team have to make a good play to beat you.
Phillips knocks down the first. He's got 19 points. Again, he struggling from the line, very unlike Phillips. Only missed 3 free throws in the first 2 rounds combined. Has already missed 5.
Oh, this is a dangerous substitution. Phil Jackson choosing to give Kobe Bryant a rest, but he said to Doris, hey, our bench is going to have to come through. Sometimes as a coach, you have to trust your bench, and George Karl going with Anthony Carter, getting him in the ballgame.
We're all tied up at 82. Nuggets have come back from 14 down, but they have not led since early in the first quarter.
And this, to me, is the value of Pau Gasol. Very few bigs in this game can play extended minutes game after game like he does.
J.R. Smith the rebound, so Smith, who's not scoring, doing other things now, drawing charges, getting important rebounds, trying to help the team. Klaiser, that's a 3. It's good. Lennox Klaiser knocks it down, and the Nuggets regain the lead. His 4th three-pointer of the game. He's got 16 points in 17 minutes. A nervous crowd right now at the Staples Center. Walton trying to post up. Nice spin move from Luke Walton. Saw the mismatch and took advantage. Phillips to drive, hammered by Brown. Phillips picking his spots and doing it well here to start the 4th.
And you see the ball movement. Carmelo Anthony gets it from Phillips, the skip pass. The Klaiser steps in rhythm, and Carmelo says, that's what I'm talking about. Another shooter on the floor, making this Laker defense pay the price for help.
Again, Klaiser during the playoffs only averaging 14 minutes a game as Phillips hits the first. Now he's already played 18 minutes. He's only averaging 5.5 points a game in the playoffs, and you see how many he has already.
Well, we watched the last minute and a half why Chauncey Billups needs to play this entire quarter. He's made every right play, and he's the guy conducting things offensively for the Nuggets. Also, he doesn't have to defend a scorer for the Lakers, so he can finish out this ball game, but George Karl decided to put in Anthony Carter.
Pass inside. Was it deflected? No. Turnover. And Denver will get it back. So Carter comes in. Billups doesn't want to come out. And now we'll go over to the bench and get a quick break. The chess match, George Karl and Phil Jackson. Smith on the drive, kicks it out. Anthony, open 3. Won't go. And a rebound, J.R. Smith. Smith against Farmar. On the drive, on the pull-up. Shot won't go. Anthony to rebound. Banks it back in. 5-point Nuggets lead. Their largest of the game, and the Lakers call timeout.
He has overpowering strength as a small forward. He just rooted Ariza underneath the rim. Good leverage. Doesn't even have to jump. Easy second chance opportunity for Anthony. He's not strong. He's super strong.
That's his 4th offensive rebound. 28 points in Denver after trailing by 14, up by 5. The LA Lakers care about the community. Recently, a bunch of Lakers, including Jordan Farmar, Trevor Ariza, Josh Powell, hosting a basketball clinic at a middle school as part of the Lakers' Fit for Life program. Reward schools that go the extra mile to teach students about the importance of daily activity and healthy eating habits. Good job done by the Laker players and the kids. The NBA, where caring happens. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the 4th. Carmelo Anthony, 28 points. He's been superb in the playoffs and is so confident in his offensive ability.
I always tell myself, there's no one man that can guard me on this planet. And I don't want to sound cocky or arrogant, but that's just my confidence. When I got the ball in my hands with one guy, I feel like, they're at my mercy. So that's why you see me a double team and triple team, and 5 guys guard me at one time. But in this league, it's hard to guard one person with one person.
Certainly at his level, it's hard to guard.
Well, he's supposed to think that way. I play with guys twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that can't play dead and think they're unguardable.
Meanwhile, Bryant back in. And Chauncey Billups back in. Bryant, turnaround jumper, in and out. Anderson the rebound.
Were you referring to Mitch Richmond, Brian Russell? Who are you referring to?
No, those guys can score. It's the rest of the cast.
Oh, yes.
Odom is on Anthony. On the drive, on the pull-up, puts it in. Carmelo Anthony, now for the 5th straight game in these playoffs, has hit the 30-point mark. And the lead is up to 7. Luke Walton fouled. J.R. Smith on a silly reach in there. And that's his 4th.
And this is a legit scorer that has every right to feel like he cannot be defended one-on-one. Forces the issue, gets to his spot, and the game is easy when the ball is in the hands of Melo.
And one of the most underrated aspects of shooting is the ability to balance up after going full speed. That's just what Anthony did on that pillow.
Bryant for 3. That's good. Hand in his face, knocks it down. And again, Denver had a 7-point lead late in the 4th quarter of game 1. It was under 5 minutes to go, and they had a 7-point lead. They had a 7-point lead momentarily there. Anthony on the drive. Walton bumps him, and Walton is called for a foul. Already 3 team fouls on the Lakers.
This is just sick. How can you raise up from 24 feet? A guy's tapping you on the head, puts a hand in the face, and you knock in a jumper.
Well, Carmelo Anthony getting a little bit of a rest with 8:19 remaining. Kenyon Martin and A come back in, along with Klaiza, J.R. Smith, and Billups. Shannon Brown on Billups. Billups trying to jam it in there. And a kick ball.
Mr. Referee, answer me a question. Kick ball, is it when it's just thrown off a guy's foot, or don't you have to try to kick the ball?
No, if a guy is stationary and you just throw it off his foot, it shouldn't be called a violation, as we have a foul away from the ball. It goes against Shannon Brown.
I mean,
what? That one's close.
He moved his foot.
Well, if you're moving your foot like that, if you're just stationary and the ball just goes into it, but he was moving his foot.
Now you got to be, Mark.
That's not a kickball. That's a bad call.
That's an amen to. That's why I would have yelled at you when I was a referee. You would have tried to somehow. What's that word where you try to give a fake reason for something? Never mind. I got to come up with a better English now.
Just call it a mic break.
Billups misses against all the rebound. You yell at me as a broadcaster, you might as well yell at me as a ref.
But there's no way if I'm George Karl, Carmelo Anthony's on the sideline. He can get a rest defending somebody other than Kobe Bryant.
Bryant double team. They give it up to Walton. Brown spots up. That's a 3. Shannon Brown, a big bucket. The Lakers back within 1.
I mean, with Carmelo, just his presence on the offensive end, he's going to create shots for others.
Well, it's also harder right now, too, because they're playing 2 big guys again for Denver.
Klaiza misses. Martin tips it. Brown comes out of the pack. Shannon Brown, the drive, floats it up short. And Klaiza had it, lost it. Odom picks it up. Bank shot won't go, but a foul. Gasol's tip will not count. Odom will go to the line for 2. Nene picks up his 5th foul, maybe.
Ball movement, man movement, the extra pass on point. Shannon Brown steps in rhythm. Carmelo says, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Are you kidding me?
7:13 remaining, 4th quarter of game 2. Nuggets clinging to a 1-point lead. Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires get you there using less gas. Fuel Max only from Goodyear. Another terrific matchup. Lakers and the Nuggets, a 1-point game here in the 4th quarter. Time for our GMC game track. As the Nuggets trying to even up this series, it's been close Here in the second half, Lakers went up by as many as 14. Carmelo Anthony leading the charge on the way back. Another 30-point game, 5th straight in the playoffs. Kobe Bryant scoring big as these two going at it, Jeff.
But the great part about putting Anthony on Bryant is it's taken him out of the easy low post opportunities and made him more of a jump shooter. Here, well defended by Anthony and a miss by Bryant. And then a more even difficult shot by Bryant here. Good defense by Anthony again. Hey, you just got to give credit where credit is due. Kobe Bryant, best Laker of all time. Maybe.
Bryant had 40 in game one. Carmelo Anthony had 39. The two putting on a show once again. By the way, that last foul was not on Nene, so he still has 4. It was Klaiser who picks up his second. Klaiser, who's played very well, comes out of the game.
That's actually an assist for you because, as you said, best Lake of all time. Before you said maybe, Magic's back in Bristol. He fell out of his chair.
Who would you vote?
That's awfully tough. There's a lot of guys in the conversation talking about Magic, Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, Kobe.
Shaq can't be because he hasn't played as many years as those other guys.
Anthony inside, bad pass. Odom with the steal. Odom leads the break. Gasol guarded by Kenyon Martin. Great defensive play from Martin. Pulled the chair out from underneath him, and Gasol stumbled. Anthony a little shaken up. He's hobbling as he comes into the front court. Limping over on the left wing. Here on the near side. Nene to Martin. Phillips with 7 on the shot clock. Phillips on the drive, kicks it out. Martin wide open. Can't get it to fall. Walton the rebound. And Odom picks it up.
I think that's the difference. That's Klaiser knocking down a wide open jump shot. You're making life so much easier for the Lakers to defend the two bigs in Martin and Nene.
It's going to be very interesting to see who George Karl trusts in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Walton reaching by Smith, fires up a shot. He got clobbered. Ball knocked loose. Odom saves it. Up top, Gasol feeds Shannon Brown. Brown, that floater, draws the foul. Won't go, but he'll head to the line.
How about Phil Jackson trusting Shannon Brown down the stretch of a ball game, and this guy's not afraid of the moment. He's putting the ball on the floor and making plays.
Shannon Brown was acquired back in February along with Adam Morrison from the Charlotte Bobcats for Vladimir Radmanovic, and really it was basically a financial move for Radmanovic's contract. And when he was acquired, Phil Jackson wasn't even sure that he was going to be part of the rotation. But Brown has played really well. He's a 6'4" guard, played his college ball at Michigan State. He's already played with Cleveland, Chicago, Charlotte, and now the Lakers. But they love his athleticism. And what Phil Jackson loves most about him, he says he never gives up on a play. If a guy gets past him, he still fights through screens. It's the second one.
And this is not a fluke that Brown has played well, as there's a double technical given to both Kenyon Martin and Gasol. You know, he's done this throughout the whole playoffs and the end of the regular season.
So the double technicals, there are no free throws on double technicals, but it is one technical on each individual player. So a second one, you'd be automatically ejected. The two of them just pushing and shoving. Obviously, that's not a lot. That's just get them to stop and knock it out, knock it off. Just past the midway point of the fourth, 2-point game. Nuggets trailing the series 1-0, trailing game 2 by 2. And a foul away from the ball. It's going to go against Luke Walton, trying to deny Carmelo Anthony. And they're in the penalty. So Anthony will go to the free throw line. Ball and assistant coach Jack Nicholson.
Well, very similar to Carmelo Anthony fouling Kobe Bryant and allowing him to go to the line. Luke Walton, careless play, fouling Carmelo Anthony. My question is, Trevor Ariza, spectacular game. Where is he? at some point if you feel Jackson, he's a guy whose energy and effort on the defensive end and also his ability to finish offensively, you're going to need on the floor.
Remember, Ariza took a hard fall earlier. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Nuggets have now made 11 straight free throws. Gasol trying to get position on Anthony. Good battle from Carmelo Anthony, but a little too aggressive. And he's called for his third foul. And that's the 15th foul on Denver, so Gasol will go to the line.
And this is good recognition. Keep the ball on the strong side. Force Carmelo Anthony to defend Pau Gasol. Does a good job of fighting and battling, but a little too much contact.
Gasol 13 points, 17 more rebounds. He has been huge on the boards throughout the playoffs. As a reminder, log on to NBA.com now for the most extensive playoff coverage, in-depth and highlights of tonight's Nuggets-Lakers matchup, as well as up-to-date scores, stats, and schedules from the entire postseason. NBA.com. The game happens here. Gasol hits a pair. Lakers by 2. Derek Fisher set to check back in for L.A. Trevor Ariza also getting up, Mark, so there's your answer. J.R. Smith gets it to Martin. Martin drives, bank shot, gets it to go.
If you're Kenyon Martin, you're on the floor. Those are the type of shots you still have to take. If you don't take those shots, you're hurting your team. So good job of staying confident and trusting your ability.
Gasol calling for it against Nene. Shot clock down to 7. Gasol drives. And a blocking foul, a late call. Nene went down, trying to draw the charge. And Gasol will go back to the free throw line. That's 5 on Nene. Let's take a look.
Well, Gasol faced up Nene. Nene's working hard to stay in front. It's a bang-bang call.
Well, that's a tough one. Nugget bench not happy. Nene's not been happy the first 2 games with the calls. He's already fouled out twice in the playoffs. As Gasol misses the free throw.
You know what Rasheed Wallace says right there, don't you? The ball don't lie.
You are now quoting Rasheed Wallace. We've come a long way.
Absolutely. He used to say, used to crack me up competing against his team. Every time there was a foul and it didn't turn out right on the free throws, he would scream that out. I used to love that.
Well, didn't turn right for Gasol there, missing both. Ariza back on Anthony. Anthony on the drive, gets it inside. Nene finds Martin, and a foul on the pass. And now Nene will go to the free throw line with 4:26 remaining.
But you see the difference between when Clays is on the floor as a 4-man and when there's 2 bigs on the floor for Denver. There's just not as much room for Carmelo Anthony to drive the ball and get to the rim.
Nene is not a good free throw shooter here in the playoffs, just 63%. He's 0 for 1 here tonight. But knocks down another. That's 11 straight makes from the line for Denver.
Well, here's Anthony. You see how the whole team is loaded up. Good length. That's just a tough area to try to catch and finish in so much traffic and congestion.
That foul on Odom is 5th. And he hits that. I want to correct myself. That's now 13 straight makes. From the line for Denver, they lead by 2 with just under 4.5 remaining. The Nuggets trying to tie this series up at 1 apiece. Putting together another impressive effort here on the road. Bryant guarded by J.R. Smith. 7 on the shot clock. Bryant spins away, gets inside, stripped, got it back, puts it up. Shot is short. Anthony tips it, battle, knocked out of bounds. Denver ball. Kobe Bryant very upset. He thought he got hit. It looked like he did.
I thought he got hit on this as they tried to strip down at the ball.
Phillips to Anthony, under 4 to play. Carmelo Anthony, double team, stolen by Ariza, deflected to Fisher. Here comes Ariza, drives underneath, and he's fouled by Phillips. Trevor Ariza's defense once again for the Lakers.
And once again, the reason why they're able to play that type of defense is because you have bigs standing there, zoning the area. So when Carmelo Anthony comes off this pick and roll, Pau Gasol is standing there totally ignoring the screener in Nene. So obviously Trevor Ariza pursuing the basketball, able to get back in the picture and come up with the steal.
Ariza, whose average is 10.5 a game in the playoffs, with 19 and another miss. That's 3 straight misses at the line for the Lakers. Ariza having a terrific game. Had that critical steal in the final minute of game 1. Hits that one. They're now 7 of 12 from the line in the 4th quarter, whereas the Nuggets have been knocking down their free throws 13 in a row. Nene left open, inside pass develops. Shot won't go. Odom tips it, still alive, and Bryant the rebound. Phillips had a good look, it wouldn't go down. Bryant to Ariza. Out to Fisher. Pass inside, deflected by Martin. And Martin throws Gasol down. The two getting involved in a little skirmish.
Great rotation by Kenyon Martin.
Nene looking to post up Odom. Inside. Good ball movement. Anthony for 3. In and out. That one halfway down, and Odom grabs the rebound.
Really, Trevor Ariza got away with a mistake, rotating off of Carmelo Anthony to Kenyon Martin.
1 point Denver lead, 2:45 remaining. Ariza the drive, throws it up there, won't go. Nene the rebound. Chauncey Billups says, let's go. Billups on the drive. Billups to the basket, puts it up. Can't get it to go. Anthony puts it back up and in. Carmelo Anthony gives the Nuggets a 3-point lead. 34 for Anthony.
I think if you're Bryant, you have to turn the corner and put pressure on this Nuggets defense.
Kobe Bryant nearly lost it, nearly traveled. Anthony on Bryant. Bryant for 3. Tie game! Under 2 minutes remaining. Billups and Fisher battling. Billups looking. Bumped by Gasol on the foul. Billups created that foul. That's just a good, smart, savvy play from the veteran point guard.
I remember growing up watching Ali Frazier. Well, we have Melo and Bryant. You talk about 2 spectacular players getting it done. That's good defense. That's a contest. That's within range to contest. That's just better offense. Bryant, outstanding. And how about Kobe Bryant holding on to the shorts of Carmelo Anthony? Just strong. That's a grown man move by Melo. Time and time again punishing the smaller Lakers.
Melo 34, Kobe 30. Tie game, 1:44 remaining.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Western Conference Finals, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. And the taking of Pelham 1-2-3, starring Denzel Washington and John Travolta. And UPS. Now more than ever, see what Brown can do for you.
The emotion and passion of the NBA playoffs. Playing on the big stage here in the conference finals. Some shrink from it, others thrive. Stars made in the playoffs. We've got a couple of great stars here on the big stage tonight. A tie game with 1:44 remaining here in Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Game 3, the series shifts to Denver Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern Time. Tip-off. Coverage begins at 8 with GMC NBA Countdown. Will it be tied at 1 game apiece, or will the Lakers have a 2-0 edge? Denver trying to win at crunch time as Chauncey Billups goes to the line. They did not execute down the stretch of Game 1. Can they do it here in Game 2? With more, let's go to Doris.
But J.R. Smith went to sit next to Carmelo Anthony on that last time out. Chauncey Billups pushed him aside, looked at Carmelo Anthony and said, we have got to make this team, the Lakers, finish by taking nothing but tough, contested twos, and George Karl came in the huddle. The two main voices you heard were George Karl and Chauncey Billups. His leadership on display that last time out, guys.
All right, Doris. Down the stretch of game one, Carmelo Anthony didn't see the ball as much. Part of it was great ball denial from Kobe Bryant. Watch free throw shooting from Denver. 15 in a row. They're up by 2. Anthony is on Bryant. Ariza. Shot clock at 7. Derek Fisher. Shot clock at 3. A long 3. Way off the mark. Rebound Nene.
That's a bad offensive possession by the Lakers, but Carmelo Anthony's doing an outstanding job denying the pass to Bryant.
Nene out to Martin. J.R. Smith inside pass deflected, stolen by Ariza. He does it again.
Oh, one thing I will say, if you're Bryant, you have to find a way to get the basketball.
Anthony on him. Kobe Bryant on the drive, on the pull-up, puts it in. Tie game again. Eight of his 32 here in the fourth quarter. Phillips on the drive, gets inside, wild pass. Nene goes underneath, finds Kenyon Martin who dumps it in, and Denver regains the lead. The Nuggets stick with the play. And Kenyon Martin with 16. It's now 103-101.
And part of the luxury of having two big guys on the floor, the ability to get underneath the hoop and make plays. Kenyon Martin, great hands, great catch, and able to finish. But you talk about a guy that's not going to quit. Kobe Bryant still battling, stopping, pop, giving his team life. Don't go anywhere.
All right. Here another terrific game in the Western Conference Finals. Denver leading by 2. Again, they had the lead down the stretch in game 1. Can they hold on? It's the Lakers' ball with 29.6 remaining. Mark, what do you look for here?
Well, I expect the Lakers to put the ball in the hands of Kobe Bryant and for him to make a play either for himself or for others. But you want to force help, and if help is not there, he's as good as it gets creating offense.
You see neither team with a foul to give. Both teams have multiple timeouts, so that's not a factor right now. Bryant, Fisher, Ariza, Odom, and Gasol. Bryant wants the ball in his hands. Billups guarding him right now. Bryant splits, lost the ball, and Nene knocks it loose. Gasol comes away, trying to call time, but he didn't get it, and Nene grabs it. I think they might say Billups is jumping against Gasol, and that's huge, obviously, with the difference in height.
Well, Bryant trying to split the pick and roll. It's a good job by Nene not allowing them to do it, and then get after the basketball. Before the timeout, referee calls jump ball.
You can say Billups is the one. Remember, there was a huge jump ball in the final minute of game 1. Lamar Odom won that tip. Gasol has the enormous height advantage here.
And to me right now, if I'm J.R. Smith, I'm shading Bryant, so the tip has to go someplace else. If you're going to get beat by Denver, it's got to be someone other than Bryant shooting the ball.
Now, if Denver somehow gains control on this tip, then the Lakers have to foul.
And one thing you don't want to do if you're Denver, allow Kobe Bryant to step into a rhythm 3, backing up on your heel.
Gasol gets it to Ariza. Ariza lost the ball. Nene picks it up. Ariza thought he was tripped, and Fisher has to foul Billups. Kobe Bryant upset. Carmelo Anthony limping down the other end of the floor. We've seen it a couple of times from him.
You wonder if it's the same thing that LeBron James went through last night, cramping up.
He's played 42 minutes. And now Chauncey Billups goes to the line. Let's watch the play.
That's a violation by J.R. Smith. That should have been side out for the Lakers. He cut through the jump circle before the contact.
That's a clear violation, a missed call.
Meanwhile, Denver hits their 16th straight free throw. Billups, who's missed a few, certainly more than normal here, knocks down a clutch one there. It's a 3-point game. This one, huge, would make it a 2-possession game. Lakers still have 2 timeouts remaining. Phillips hits that. And Phil Jackson will use one of those 2 timeouts as it's back to 4. Let's take a look at that play once again on the jump ball.
If you're in the jump circle, you cannot cut through
until one of the jumpers tip the ball.
Right.
You're right, Jeff. A frustrated Kobe Bryant. Lakers down 4 with the ball when we return. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers in some trouble right now, down 4 with 13.7 remaining. And now they'll inbound. What's the strategy here, Jeff?
Surprised they didn't advance the ball because it takes more time, obviously, to get it here. You've got to try to, if Bryant inbounds, try to keep him from getting it right back.
Here's where he loves to pull up in transition. Bryant on the drive, gives it to Gasol. Gasol fouled by Martin with 7.9 remaining. There was a chance that timeout was called an official timeout because Gasol was bleeding somewhere. If that's the case, that's why they didn't advance it. But they could have called one there on their own to advance it. Instead opted not to. Now Gasol to the line. He's missed 3 free throws tonight. And gets that one to go. Almost bounced out. All right, with 7.9 remaining, is it too early for him to miss this one?
Absolutely. They have timeouts up. But what I'd be concerned about is Kobe Bryant on the miss running in. So you've got to take care of these perimeter guys on the free throw blockout.
He has to wait until the ball's released. Gasol hits a pair. Back to a 2-point game. Lakers have to try and get a steal. If not, foul right away. Phillips releases. Phillips in the front court. Phillips nearly falls and lost it, but holds on. And there's the foul with 4.3 remaining. Kobe Bryant upset. He felt that he fouled Billups earlier, but it appeared that was right when Billups had lost possession.
This is just a good read by Chauncey Billups, being overplayed by Bryant. Eye contact, throw the ball ahead, chases it down. Almost careless play, but keeps the dribble alive.
4.3 left.
They thought they had fouled earlier. Good non-call by Steve Javie. They didn't foul him until when he called it.
And there's a missed free throw. They had hit 17 in a row. And as we keep saying, one of the most clutch free throw shooters in the game misses that one. Again, the Lakers still have a timeout to advance the ball. Billups hits that. And now Phil Jackson will call time. 106-103. Lakers down 3. 4.3. They'll have the ball when we come back. .3 seconds remain. Fourth quarter of game 2. Nuggets trying to tie the series up at 1 apiece. Right now the Lakers trail by 3. And here's the question we ask in so many games. Does Denver foul and not let them shoot a 3-pointer? Let's hear from you guys. Mark, you go first.
Well, there's no question. If I'm coaching up 3, there's no choice. It's foul, and make sure you foul prior to somebody trying to jack up a shot.
Jeff?
So much of it is where they catch it and if they're already facing the basket. If they're not facing the basket, take the foul. There's no reason anybody should be caught below the 3-point line right now. Like if I was Kenyon Martin, I'd be on the other side. If I was Nene, I'd be on the other side to help against any possible 3-point catch.
Fisher gets it. Fisher for 3. Won't go. Rebound Billups. And the Nuggets have tied the series at 1 game apiece. A terrific bounce-back performance from the Denver Nuggets. After the gut-wrenching loss in Game 1, falling behind by 14 here in Game 2, they come back and even the Western Conference Final. What a terrific performance once again from Carmelo Anthony and his Denver Nuggets.
And deciding not to foul. You talk about look at Nene. He's not giving up on the play. Gets off the body of Pau Gasol, contests, makes it a tough look for Derek Fisher. Kobe Bryant, your job, Carmelo Anthony, is to force somebody else to win the ball game. Do not let that man catch it. Does an outstanding job. Derek Fisher forced into a tough one.
Denver Nuggets unable to execute down the stretch of Game 1. Do so, make all the big plays down the stretch of Game 2. And they will head to Denver, all even at 1 game apiece. As Carmelo Anthony, just superb once again. He's with Doris.
Carmelo, in Game 1, you guys failed to execute down the stretch. Why was tonight so different for you guys?
Second chance points today, in the fourth quarter. We kept them to one shot. Got the rebound, played great defense. I took the challenge to guard Kobe out there, try to make it tough for him, and we won the game.
A heartbreaking loss in Game 1. You were swept by the Lakers a year ago. You guys have taken criticism for not being mentally tough. How much satisfaction in this kind of win?
There's a lot of satisfaction. To get one on the road is always tough. We came in and got one. We mentally tough. We showed that in this game, coming off the loss that we gave away in Game 1. I'm so proud of my team for what we did tonight.
You look like you're hurting a little bit. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm hurting, man. I'm hurting. I'll be okay for Game 3 though.
All right, thanks, Carmelo. Mike.
Doris Carmelo Anthony, 39 in Game 1, 34 in Game 2, but he had some help. Chauncey Billups with 27 points, big free throws. And Denver hit their free throws, unlike Game 1. They had a lot of clutch ones here in Game 2. And Linus Kleza as well. Big play off the bench when they needed it after a struggle in the beginning of the game. Series now shifts to Denver, where the Nuggets were terrific on their home floor. They're undefeated at home in the playoffs. And Game 3 will be for a packed house. 8:30 Eastern start, Game 3 and 4 in Denver. Well, the Nuggets so impressive bouncing back, and even the series at one game apiece. For more coverage of tonight's game, go to ESPN News or stay tuned to ESPN for Sports Center. Game 3 against Saturday night starts with GMC NBA Countdown. For Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Doris Burke, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Green saying so long from Los Angeles. The Western Conference Finals are tied at one game apiece.